Good morning, everybody. This is Lauren with Synergy Skylights, and I'm going to walk you through what a typical installation looks like for us.
After setting up ladders and getting up onto the roof, we tie off for safety and start removing the shingles directly around the skylight. Give or take, it's about 3 feet all the way around the skylight. While the team is up on the roof, we have a team on the ground prepping the skylights, getting them ready for when the old skylights are removed and the new skylights are ready to go up. We're always performing some job site cleanup. For reference, the shingles on the ground there are from about 3 skylights that we've removed the shingles around. Customers are always curious about how we get the skylights up and down, and sometimes it's just as simple as carrying them down the ladder and using a suction cup to carry them back up again. Once the skylight's on the roof, there's always somebody on the inside making sure that the skylight is lined up before we nail it down to the roof deck. That can sometimes take some maneuvering and cutting back of the drywall. Once we have it placed correctly on the inside, we nail it down on the exterior. So here's an interior view of the other 2 skylights on this job that we're about to remove. We've placed drop cloths below the skylights to collect the debris that falls in. We do ask that you remove large furniture from underneath the skylights, but if you're not able to do that, we do put down drop cloths to protect your furniture. This is the debris that came out after we had to cut back some drywall. We've removed a skylight and then put the new skylight in. We'll pick up these drop cloths, vacuum it up, and you'll never even know we were here.
All right, we're checking on Nick here, who's prepping for a second unit to come in. Nick, can you explain what you're doing here?
So right now I'm cutting back the drywall. Basically, sometimes what happens is the plaster can get heavy in the corners and other areas, and it makes it so the skylight won't sit flat on the roof deck. So we come in and cut it back enough that it sits flat, and then we kind of evaluate at that point and determine whether it needs just some caulking or if we're going to do some trim to cover that up.
Awesome. Why is it important that it sits flat on the roof deck?
Because the skylight has a deck seal on the bottom of the nailing flange, and that deck seal has to be flat on the roof deck in order for the skylight to be warranted.
Thanks, Nick.
So after the skylight was placed on the roof deck and nailed down, we wrap it with a membrane called leak barrier or ice and water shield that extends past the roof deck and up the skylight frame. Here's another view of how a skylight gets up on the roof. Sometimes it's easier, depending on the slope of the roof, to pass it from the interior. So we have a team on the roof receiving that skylight, and now we're just lining it up to make sure it looks good on the interior before we nail it down. At a minimum, we finish all of the interior of our skylights with a bead of caulking. However, sometimes it's necessary to cut back some drywall, and if need be, we'll add some interior trim. Now that all the skylights are wrapped with ice and water shield, they're ready for the roofing process to begin. We will use a sill flashing on the bottom, step tins and shingles on the left and right hand side of the skylight, and finish with the head flashing. You'll see the head flashing is going on here. Once it's nailed down to the roof deck and properly placed above the skylight, we layer one more layer of ice and water shield over the top of the head flashing and then finish it off with the rest of the shingles. So now we're getting an interior look of what the skylight looks like when it's all done from the inside. This specific skylight is a Velux solar-powered fresh air skylight, which you can operate via remote control. And then you'll also see I'm about to operate the shade here, which is a room darkening solar-powered shade, which is great for not only blocking out the light, but helping heat gain and heat loss, which makes the window much more energy efficient. And here's an exterior look at the skylight replacement, which has been completed. These are 2 solar-powered fresh air skylights from Velux. What might be difficult to see is that we've mounted a solar panel that houses the rain sensor on the top of the skylight that will harness daylight to keep the battery charged, and then also the skylights will close down once those rain sensors detect the vibrations or the acoustics of the raindrops. And here's a finished view of the 3 skylights on the back. And last but not least, we load all of the debris, old skylights and shingles into our dump trailer or into our van, which we take off site, so you don't have to be responsible for cleaning up any of the materials yourself.
Thanks for following along. We hope you get a better understanding what it's like to replace your skylights. We replaced 5 skylights today, but whether you have a single skylight, 2 skylights in your home, or 15 existing skylights, we hope we've simplified the process for you and shown you how efficient we can make the process and really pain-free. So give us a call at Synergy Skylights and see how we can help you. Thank you.